So, okay, let's now get into our next story here, everyone. So, you are killing us. Southern California Gas seeks 13% monthly bill increase. So this is absolutely crazy, everyone. Gas prices for people's utility bills have already increased like 300%. And now they're seeking another 13% monthly increase. This shows why real inflation is much higher than the CPI Live report. So let's dig a bit deeper into this report to see what's about to happen to the residents of Southern California to their gas bills. As millions recover from the exorbitant utility bills, the state is considering Southern California Gas Company requests to raise monthly rates by 13.2% next year for 5.3 million households and businesses it serves. So this isn't just going to affect households, this is also going to affect businesses. Businesses simply can't afford these higher bills right now, as well as households. And even if they can afford it, well, that's what's going to lead to. That's going to lead to higher prices for them because, like gas, like people transportation goods, and also people using power, electricity, and gas, that's a huge input cost for business, and they're just simply going to have to pass that on to customers. So what this is mean? More inflation, more cost of living crisis. Things are just getting worse. People, it's absolutely crazy. I thought, people hope that maybe this was the end of this crazy high inflation, but it just keeps getting worse. Although the increase is a routine request by SoCal Gas every 4 years, it comes at a time when many residents are paying as much as 300% more for gas. This is absolutely crazy, a 300% increase. Imagine all the pensioners, imagine all the veterans. They simply can't afford another 300% increase in their gas bill. And this is why we're going to see the homeless crisis in California. And this is going to start spreading across the country. It already is spreading, but it's just going to get much worse because people can't afford the crazy high rent increases, the crazy high utility increases. And this is probably why we saw used car prices skyrocket last year. There's a lot of other factors, but we're going to start to see a lot more people live in their cars. Skyrocketing costs for natural gas sent bills soaring in February because inventory shortages strained by the Ukraine conflict, among a lot of other things. Also, restrictions on licensing, that's right, and drilling, and increased national electric power needs. So that's right. It's not just a conflict in Ukraine. We're seeing huge restrictions, regulations put on these gas companies, licensing, like they said here, drilling. What this is this a self-imposed crisis. This is the government's fault through their policies. Yes, obviously the conflict in Russia and Ukraine hasn't helped. It's made it worse. But this is a big, big problem we've been facing for years. And we're going to face it with power. And we're also going to face it with oil because the US, and it's not just US, in Australia here as well. When I was working in the energy industry about 6 years ago, I would see electricity prices go up about 15% every year. And they would come and would have meetings at the power company I used to work for and say, okay, they shut down another coal power plant. And I think they probably shut down about 5 plants while I was working there throughout 4 years. This is definitely a problem that our government has made for us, and it's only going to get worse. So SoCal Gas files this rate increase during a time of transformative change, and his president said in a release May, events in California and around the world have shown us that maintaining the safety, reliability, and affordability of our local energy systems remain critical. Well, they're saying one thing, it doesn't look like they're doing that, everyone. So news of the possible rate increases has sparked some opposition from residents who commented on the state's utility commission website. He says he's definitely against this, the proposed increase, and feels that it borders on being criminal. This is what a Cathedral City man wrote. I would encourage the California Public Utilities Commission to look at other ways for managing expenses to prevent such an increase. Another person said a Riverside resident on fixed income told the commission her bill had already increased to $650. This is absolutely crazy, $650 for a monthly gas bill. I assume that's monthly, not quarterly. She said, "You are killing us. We need heat in order to live," the woman wrote. "This is just price gouging your customers and forcing people to live miserable lives. Stop the insanity." So that's another big issue, everyone. When winter comes and people can't afford to pay the gas bill, we're going to see massive consequences of this. It's going to cause a lot of health issues. People are going to get a lot more sick. And, this is just an essential human need that these policies our government is doing is absolutely destroying people's lives. But it doesn't seem anyone's talking about it because, of course, we all want to go with the green energy transition to save the environment. Yes, I want to do that. I want to save the environment. But we can't just shut off gas coal and oil overnight. It needs to be, a sensible transition. So SoCal and the California Public Utilities Commission will host 2 online public forums March 6th and March 15th to hear public comments and concerns about the increases. And the public can also provide written comments. So if you're living in this area, to the State Utility Commission, and about 15 people commented by Feb 27th. So this is another absolute crazy thing what's going on right now, everyone, with gas prices surging, with petrol prices rising, with food costs rising. And it's quite funny because, they exclude energy and food prices from inflation. They say, well, look, yeah, if you exclude that, and, if you exclude cars, if you exclude houses, if you exclude rent, look, there's no inflation, nothing to worry about. But literally all the things that are essential for humans to survive are going up absolutely crazy. And people just simply aren't going to be able to sustain this. And we're going to see a huge cost of living crisis and a huge homeless crisis, I think, over the next year, especially with interest rates going up.